Hi, Wilhelmina.
Good morning.
Well, glad to connect with you again.
Yes, happy to be here. Thanks for
Great.
inviting me.
Yeah. So, well, we met earlier this year because the video marketing meetup that is happening nowadays in several cities, and I was very happy to finally see that Helsinki is on one of the stopover points. So, could you share a little bit about what that video marketing meetup is all about?
Yeah. So roughly about a year and a half ago, because I work in the video marketing kind of space in the category, we noticed that there's not really a community around this category. So we started organizing these video marketing meetups all around the world. We're now in 10 cities and starting in Stockholm next year. And basically, the idea is just to gather people around who are interested in video marketing, whether it's they work for big companies and are already doing it, or they're in small startups and just want to get started, or if it's just kind of video enthusiasts. And we always invite a lot of different speakers to share their inspiration, their kind of what has worked for them, what hasn't, just to drive the category forward together and just inspire each other.
Well, that was exactly what inspired me also, because I've been interested in doing videos and finding a way to kind of amplify a message I want to give or share my passion and so on. And I thought that what you guys were up to was very, very interesting. But they are not. I'm not the only one because it's a little bit of a scary thing to do. Doing videos, and it can be scary to say, well, I'm a small entrepreneur and I don't have millions of euros to spend on videos. So, what are maybe some different approaches even smaller companies can do to uh, start video marketing or marketing their services or products on with video?
Mm. I think the key thing here is the video marketing is happening. Many have said that the year of video was already 2017, 2018. So video marketing is here to stay. You can't really, whether you want it or not, the train has already parted. So just about jumping on board of the train and kind of starting at some point. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have a huge budget and start with big productions. It means that you can just start by testing out some small things that could potentially work for your business and seeing actually what works and what doesn't.
Yeah. But there are different ways. I mean, one is that you are pre-record things and
Yeah.
then doing things like a live video. What would you see is sort of the benefits of either one if you want to do that?
I think it all has to start with a goal-driven way of looking at it. So, what's the reason why are we doing the videos, and at what stage of the funnel are we at? And then, depending on those kind of categorizations, then you can decide what kind of type of video would be the best. Would it be something that is more pre-recorded and that you have time to polish a little more, or would it be something that would be very authentic and just more of a one-to-one kind of communication, but with video?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because you're doing a video marketing strategy. Most companies, everyone is doing a sales and marketing plan for the following year. How does the video marketing fit into that? Is it part of that plan that you do when you plan your following year actions, or how does it work?
Yeah, I think the video strategy should be part of the whole like content strategy. And what we unfortunately see quite a bit still is that video is siloed into its own category. But the direction that I really see this going is for companies to become video enabled, which means the video would be actually part of every department and the whole customer journey in total.
Well, that is excellent.
Yeah.
That is excellent. I mean, I'm coming from the hotel industry, and we are sort of well known as an analog industry. We like to have a face-to-face interaction with people, but when we need to talk about budget, how should we engage with video? It becomes a very strange topic. Maybe part of uh, the management or who are there are looking at things from uh, driving revenues in a different way. But what would you tell somebody like that? I have a small hotel somewhere in let's say in Kuopio,
Mm.
and or in Stockholm or in Örebro, and I'm watching this LinkedIn Live where we are talking about this. How should I go about this to get started? I mean, what would be the things you would inspire somebody like me to get over that hump of being afraid that it's not for me?
Yeah. Well, of course, every company is going to have different goals and different purposes. So it's just about kind of defining those and then looking if video could be one way to solve some of the problems. So what we're seeing a lot is that it's not enough for companies to have or to provide a good or a great customer experience anymore. I think it's going more and more towards that companies, if they want to stand out, they need to provide a personal customer experience, which I think, especially in the hotel business, is super important. And video is such a great way to touch upon so many touch points throughout the whole customer journey and make the experience even more personalized.
Yeah.
So whether that's kind of once they do the booking and they get the booking confirmation, instead of just having a traditional email, they could include a video there made by the hotel staff, greeting them and kind of giving them some general information and just making them feel welcome for when they're going to come and stay.
Oh, that's an excellent idea. I mean, then you're starting you're having a person that you a little bit know already before you arrive to the hotel.
Exactly.
So then let's say I arrive to the hotel as a guest. What else could one do using video in that customer journey?
So of course there's the kind of the whole pre-arriving, everything that can be done with video. So doing the reach outs. I think during the stay, what else could be there? Okay, that's a
No,
tough one, right?
maybe there
It
will be
can,
something like along the line of getting to know the place a little bit better,
yeah,
or even before I arrive, I'm taking on a little bit of a tour of the place and
exactly.
where's the gym and what are the nature tracks I could go to, or and but once I get there, maybe there will be somebody who will be brave enough to ask me, would I like to have a chat with them about how they experience the place or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think after the stay, it's also important how you kind of communicate there. And that's also where video can kind of come part of the play. So making those personal, hi, Sam-Erik, thank you for staying with us. We hope you're going to stay again. Touch points with video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good. I noticed that there's a lot of things going on in video, and I primarily see that a lot of things coming out of US, obviously, because it's a huge market, and they have been sort of leaders, and sort of these. There are the long form and then the short form video. Do you have any opinion of what's happening now in this kind of in the video formatting? How these are being rolled out for whether it's social media or in business networks like LinkedIn or TikTok being that the buzzword now during this year, maybe next year. What do you think
Yeah.
about those?
I think we definitely see we have a lot of data coming through our platform. So based on what we're seeing right there is that social media, the rates of engagement right there are dropping very fast. We're seeing in average 6 seconds of playtime on Facebook. And where the content is being watched more and more in terms of the engagement time is your own website basically. So if Facebook is around 6 seconds, your website is 4 minutes and 59 seconds. So there's a huge difference there. And that, of course, applies very strongly in terms of what kind of content you want to put on which channels. Because if you know that someone is just watching 6 seconds of your videos on Facebook, there is absolutely no point in putting a 30-second video with the CTA at the end on Facebook, but rather putting very short teasers on social with the whole purpose of then driving the traffic to your own website where we know that people are going to engage in a very controlled environment for a longer time.
Well, that's a very excellent tip, by the way, because I was under the impression that all I have to do is go on Facebook because I have 2,000 friends there, and then I'll make some new friends. But that's a little bit of a thing of the past then.
Yeah, and of course, again, we're back at the kind of question of why are you doing this? And for many companies, it's always be about conversions. You want to get the end conversion, and that the fact is that the conversion cannot happen on social media. Because obviously you can track them and you don't have the data and the permission. So at the end of the day, you want to get them to your website because that's where you can do all the important kind of business related activities.
Right, right. So for your website, would that be more like a pre-recorded, or would that be also a live video that you can do for your websites?
I think it's a combination of both. Lots of pre-recorded materials, absolutely. We see case stories working really well, product videos. I think in general, people say, or the stat says that 64% of consumers will be likelier to buy a product after watching a video. So having kind of product videos is super important. But also live, when we talk about webinars, we are seeing amazing results that companies are getting for lead generation, engaging their communities by sharing information that is relevant to them.
Okay, so really the key,
The live setting.
Yeah, but basically your message is that the key is that you aim to drive your viewers or your potential customers to your website, and that's where. But how do you get what kind of how do you get them to your website? What kind of opt-ins are maybe popular these days to try to catch them to you get their email or so on to invite them to anything that you do on your website?
A really good question. What we're seeing great results with as well are collectors or lead forms that you can place in your videos. So now, for example, if you are a webinar, you can gate the webinar. You can give them 15 seconds so they know a bit of what's coming up. Putting a collector there as a gate, and basically they're paying for the content with their information, with their data. And that's why it is so crucial to actually be producing content of relevancy and of something that is going to give more value to your prospects. Otherwise, they're not going to be leaving their information with you.
Yeah, that's right, right. Yeah. Oh, that's very interesting. And this is very, very good value you are providing here. I noticed something also that because now LinkedIn has is doing live like what we are doing now, is that I was joining another discussion last week, and I heard very interesting things that there are people producing live webinars, or they're doing summits which can last up to 8 hours on LinkedIn, and people come and go, and if it's very specific topic like legal issues, or there are some scientific issues, or so on, they seem to be using this kind of formats like LinkedIn in order to produce live full day forums. I never heard of that before, but that's quite interesting. But would that be also something that you would do for your website, for instance, that you would actually drive them to come to your website to attend a full day or even 2-day event or 3-day event, and you would attend this through your website?
Yeah, absolutely. Because once you have the people kind of watching that on your website, you can actually start tracking how much are they watching, what are they watching, and kind of have that data in mind for next time to qualify even better and to kind of optimize for the experience.
Okay. Now, people who are in the business always think about the KPIs, the key performance indicators. What would be something that one should be look out for to make? Because usually it's they look at how much they cost me to produce this content, and then what are the KPIs one should be looking at that justifies the use of the video tools in your marketing?
Yeah, I think that's a really good question, because what we're still seeing a lot is that people are not really measuring their videos, which I find kind of mind-boggling, because any other marketing campaign you would have very strict KPIs and measurements and kind of how you go back and you see how the whole campaign did. But with video, still a lot of companies, they're just kind of investing a lot of money. They post it on YouTube and then they just cross their fingers and hope for the best. Yeah. And obviously not much comes out of that.
Yeah, that's right.
But so in terms of the KPIs, I think plays of course, plays are interesting to look at, but it's not a very quality KPI because at the end of the day, plays don't tell you much. You can have 1 million views, but if those 1 million views are not coming from the audience that you actually want to target, then they don't really mean much. So I think in that case, it would be more meaningful for you to have 10 views if it's really in your target audience. So engagement time is important, and then of course if we want to look at some very hard data, looking at the leads that we're able to collect with videos and pass on to the sales team, then we can start calculating what is the value of a lead and how much are we putting into these videos, and start calculating the return on investment for those.
Okay, that's very good value that you can providing. Excellent, excellent. So now I think we are now getting a good idea. Drive your viewers into your website and that's where you start to engage with them, and also creating sort of relevant opt-ins for them to sign up for your videos and or your activities on the platform. And in this way, you are creating a relationship with your potential customer, and before they even buy into it, it's just kind of creating a relationship first of all, and then finding out more what they are interested in, and that's how you are kind of binding them into some sort of a commitment, hopefully in the future, and so with you.
Yes, and all the time they're watching your videos, they're basically spending time with your brand. So that's very valuable.
Yeah, absolutely. No, this has been very, very interesting discussion with you, Wilhelmina. So thank you very much for providing all this valuable content. Now, if people want to reach out to you and have some more specific questions, and particularly because you are a video marketing strategist, what would be the best way for them to reach out to you?
Well, I'm here on LinkedIn, so if you just tag me in the post, then feel free to connect with me and ask any questions you have in relation to video marketing. Always happy to talk about the subject.
Great. Well, I think in that note, we're going to just close the show for today. And I'd like to thank all the live viewers and also the replay viewers who were watching this video. And if you have any questions, just put them in the comment, and I'm sure we will track them with Wilhelmina and give you the answers you are looking for. And so meanwhile, I'd like to wish you, Wilhelmina, and all the viewers a happy Christmas time.
Yes, Merry Christmas to everyone.